So you find yourself in a situation where the company that you work for is asking you to do something illegal. Well, in today's video, I'm gonna go into most common things that drivers are being asked to that are actually illegal. This is probably one of the only videos that I do that it's not scripted. This is actually coming from me, from my heart, and I'm trying to bring this information to you guys because I've been hearing about so many of these things over the years, and at some point it just has to stop. You need to be made aware of what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. I've been recruiting drivers for about 15 years now. I hear horror stories all the time, and I'd like to share this video with you because mostly the guys, the company drivers out there, and the new drivers that are being asked to do things illegal, because the company knows that you're not getting away with asking somebody with 5 or 7 years experience to do something illegal. But drivers that are new to the company and drivers that have just gotten their license, you're really scared to say no, so you actually do these things, but it's wrong and it is illegal, and you should be made aware of this. Through this video, you'll know what I'm talking about. Let's get to my points. With the first thing that we're going to talk about is when a company is asking you to run over your hours. So in Canada, you're allowed to run for 13 hours drive time and then 16 hours total. In the US, it's 11 and 14. So when you're being asked to run over your hours, you know that obviously you're going to be falsifying your logbooks. Whether you're regional, whether you're long haul driver, you're not allowed to be asked to run over your hours. It doesn't matter on the delivery time. It doesn't matter on what the pressure is. You should not be running over your hours. So one of the things that drivers get asked to do a lot is to drive with defective equipment. Now this is a huge no-no. I mean, when you're doing a PTI on a trailer, you know when something is wrong. If it's defective, you cannot drive it. This is one of our trailers, and the exact same thing happened. A driver did a PTI, called into the office. The first thing they do is they tag it. They put the trailer out of service. I don't know why it went out of service, but the driver did his PTI, didn't feel comfortable, told dispatch, and then they gave him a different trailer. And if there's a load inside that trailer, well, tough luck, they're gonna need to cross-dock it. Either they fix the problem or they cross-dock the freight, but you should not be driving out there with defective equipment. And yes, there are things that are minor, but if your brakes are not working or your brake lights are not working, I mean, you cannot drive this. You don't need a ticket, you don't need a violation on the road. All right, back to the shoot. It's usually the newer drivers with the 1 year experience, with the 1.5 year experience, that they're afraid to voice their opinion. So when a dispatcher tells them, oh, don't worry about it, or a safety manager will tell them, oh, don't worry about it, just drive it, you'll be fine. No, you won't be fine. And you gotta let them know that this is not good, you don't feel comfortable driving it, and that they should be doing something about it. Our next topic is delivering while you're off duty or picking up while you're off duty. So you're running out of your hours, then you get to a job site, and then you're being asked to, or you do it yourself, you deliver while off duty, or a portion of your delivery will be done off duty. That is a violation, and they can pick up on it. A lot of these big manufacturing plants, they have the timestamps, time in, time out, of when you arrived at the facility and when you left. And if you're off duty at that facility, they can ding you for falsification of logs. So these things, I mean, I know a lot of people do it. It's wrong. It's 100% wrong. We should not be doing it on the road. I know a lot of you guys get paid per mile, and it just, you think that it's okay, and you're like, okay, whatever, I get paid per mile, and that's why a lot of people are converting to hourly pay. But this is something that kind of needs to be, you shouldn't be pressured, or you shouldn't be told to go off duty to deliver a load or to pick up a load. All right, so our next topic is personal conveyance. So in Canada and in the US, you're allowed X amount of miles to drive on personal conveyance. So it means basically that you're driving for personal use. So if you need to go to Walmart, if you need to go to Shoppers, if you arrived at your terminal and then from the terminal you want to get home and you're using the truck, you use personal conveyance. Drivers are using personal conveyance to do that last leg of their trip, maybe their last 30, 40, 50 miles. If you do it a few times, safety will pick up on it. But if you're being asked to use personal conveyance to your delivery or your pickup, that's a huge no-no. I mean, doing personal conveyance with a loaded trailer is a big no-no, and it is illegal, and you'll get tickets and fined for it. Most companies will probably fire you for it, for using personal conveyance to deliver a load or to get to your delivery. The next one that I see that happens often also is unplugging your e-log device. It wasn't as common at the beginning when e-logs just came out, but now we see more and more drivers are unplugging their e-logs, or they sign off of their e-log systems. So here's a situation. I'm driving, I got another 150 miles to get towards my delivery. I call my dispatcher and I tell him, hey, I'm not making to the delivery. I have 3 more hours to go, but my logbook I only allowed to drive for another 45 minutes. So the dispatcher will tell the driver, okay, log yourself out of the e-logs and continue driving. Don't worry, there's no more scales. I hear these stories all the time. In our situation, it's usually the drivers are doing it, but I know that a lot of drivers are being asked to do it, and the safety manager or dispatch says that they will fix it on their end. But I want you to know that there is no fixing it on anybody's end. And so whenever you log yourself out of your e-logs, you know, the system keeps going. So what happens is on the back end, the safety managers will get unassigned driving. And unassigned driving, I can assure you that that's the first thing that the MTO officers look at when they're doing an audit for you. So they'll go through the list of the last 6 months of unassigned driving, and I promise you, there's only so much that you can make up. That officer is smart, he's seen these things. They will destroy you and they will destroy the company that you're working for. You know, if something severe happens on the road, I mean, you're talking about jail time, you're talking about being sentenced, you're talking about negligence. I mean, we're talking about big problems that are just not worth it. So if a dispatcher ever tells you, or if somebody tells you that they're able to fix your logs or do something on the back end, absolutely not. One of the last things I'm going to talk about is interstating. So this is for Canadian drivers. For American drivers, I mean, one thing that you should know is that a Canadian company cannot come into the US, pick up a load in the US and deliver it in the US. So we can only pick up loads that are that their destination is for Canada. And the same thing vice versa. So if, you know, we're picking up a load in Canada, we're delivering it in the US, and then we're only allowed to pick up in the US and bring it into Canada. Now, I heard of a lot of stories where drivers are being told that, oh, don't worry, we have the permits to interstate, or we're allowed to interstate. Canadian companies are not allowed to interstate in the US. So if you're a Canadian driver and you're being told that you are allowed to interstate, that's absolutely wrong information. You will get banned from the US. Whether you know the rule or you don't know the rule, you are supposed to know the rule. The reason for that is because you're taking away work from Americans, and we're not allowed to do that. There are no gray areas with this. It's either you follow the law or you broke the law. So that we call interstating, and that is a huge no-no, and we're not allowed to do that. With all the points that I mentioned in today's video, at the end of the day, you need to understand that it's your license. The reason that I put this channel together is for this reason here. I mean, if I'm able to save one guy, if I'm able to save one accident that's going to happen on the road, if one of these videos from the hundreds of videos that we've done, then that reason right there was worth the entire channel of why I put this together. That one accident that I can save, that one person's life, that one mother and child that's on the road, for one driver that's gonna say, no, I will not drive with defective equipment. And if it's because of this video that you're not going to drive or continue to drive with defective equipment, then I've done something right, and this channel has met all my expectations. Violations, points on the road, you need to understand that this is your livelihood. This is your driver's license, okay? The points on your driver's license are going to affect the amazing job that you're going to try to get in the future. When you've been driving for 7-8 years and you have a clean record, any company is willing to hire you. I mean, any company would be willing to hire you. Another thing, if you ever want to upgrade to becoming an owner-operator, when you come to the recruiter's office and the company told me to do this and the company told me to drive that, at the end of the day, you need to make the decisions for yourself that you're not supposed to be driving, and those violations are not coming off for about 3 to 4 years off of your record. Keep your licenses clean, keep your driving records clean, and you will get the really good jobs out there. So guys, if you don't already know this channel is all about trucking. Now, we have myself, Ronen, VP of Operations here at ET Transport. We have Dean, who is our old school bodybuilder truck driver, and we have Liam, who brings us up to date on all the latest news on trucking. So if you like this video, make sure you check out my other video over here. It's a video on all the scams that recruiters pull in order to hire truck drivers. So make sure you watch that video. If you enjoyed this video, you're definitely gonna like that one. I'm Ronen, R-O-N-E-N, and I'll catch you in my next video.